This particular land that I live on is where I grew up, where I was born, and where I hope to die. Land was always very important in our family. Right from the day I can remember, we were somehow involved with the land around us. My dad was a small-time farmer. My mother raised animals and chickens and cows so that they could feed us. We were expected to participate in this little farm that we lived on. Rock picking, my dad would take us out rock picking. He would hire out with farmers off the reserve, and we would be in the back of the wagon with him, picking rocks and spending the day. It had its benefit because we got to meet people off the reserve, and we got to see what kind of food they ate. These things don't seem significant, but they are significant, in teaching us to understand that, we lived one way and our neighbors across the reserve line lived differently. My dad farmed with horses. He didn't farm with tractors. And this was in the early 50s, So I remember riding in the back of a plow, hanging onto the seat as he was plowing the land. Or at harvest time, the binder, there was a spot there that was just perfect for a little guy. And I'd be riding behind, and we didn't have the benefit of, a big income or anything like that. So we lived according to our means. And determining that means was also determining how best to live on the land. In many ways, there were life lessons about what the land provides, how important it is for us, and to hear the adults talk about taking care of that land that's the stuff we carried away from living in that kind of an environment. Played an important role in my spirit formation. I was able to live and appreciate, what nature has to provide. It's not just the food, but it feeds the mind, it feeds the spirit, and it teaches. It's constantly teaching. I think there's a resilience in our people that speaks loudly about that relationship to the land, because as Cree people we really believe strongly in Wakotowin, which is being related to everything, and that didn't leave. Wakotowin, it's everywhere, in everything that we do. And those values are what holds us together and makes us strong. And we've brought it into the school so we can teach the kids the importance of Wakotowin, how to help each other, how to know who you're related to. And that's important, that the land is essential for life, and that at all times we have to express our thankfulness for that. The way farming is done is not necessarily beneficial to us as a community, and that disconnect between farming techniques and Wahkotuin lie in a failure to understand the long-term impact of how farming is being conducted and what is being put on the land, and trying to understand that the land is sensitive and you have to be aware of that sensitivity. And so if you're going to farm, become a smart farmer. Become a farmer that is governed by a strong relationship to the land, and take the time to understand, that some chemicals are just not good. They may have a short-term benefit, but the long term is what we're interested in, because we're working towards the long run. Our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, those generations that are going to be here when we're gone. Treaty 6 is a rich part of this province of Saskatchewan. It's partially boreal forest, partially prairie land. People have raised their families on this land. It's got everything that a community would need to survive. And it's also beautiful. We need beauty around us. We need the sunsets, and the moon rises over the lake. And all these things are important. The geese rising from the fields, at this time of the year, and the acrobatics that they perform and the conversations they have as they fly over our houses, those are all important. Provide that foundation, that rootedness. People in the cities that come from here, when you talk to them, it's quite common for them to say, at home. And they're not talking about Wiggins Avenue in Saskatoon. We have all of that on this land. I think it's made us spiritual people. I think that's why people want to dance at powwows, and people have carry-on ceremonies, different kinds of ceremonies. It's because this place is just vibrating with life and beauty and asking us, take care of me, take care of me, and I will continue to sustain you,